Welcome to Fortress of Faith with Tom Wallace, calling North America to repentance and revival.
Well, welcome back to the Corner of Truth and Courage. You're listening to Fortress of Faith. This is Tom Wallace. I want to jump in and share some interesting news. Not long ago, Congress had a very interesting meeting. It was a Senate Judiciary Subcommittee hearing. Took place in August, and Senator Ted Cruz, he headed up the committee. All the Democrats decided to be no-shows. They didn't want to have a part of this. Largely because it's something that they can't defend very well, and they just wish this would go away. So what did they do in this committee? Well, pretty much they made a congressional record of the attachment of the Muslim Brotherhood, which is a terrorist organization, and connected them with numerous groups here in the United States that are groups that was started by the Muslim Brotherhood. And it laid down all the evidence. And one of the things that they brought to light was the trial that was done in 2008, the Holy Land Fund trial. It was done in the federal court of Dallas, Texas. And let me give you some background so you understand. This is a very important piece of discovery and legislation, or rather, litigation, I should say. And I'll talk about the three people who came to testify in that meeting. One of these people, she was the head of that whole investigation, or rather, the court case. And so what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to connect the dots for you so that you can understand that the evidence is real. Even this goes back, almost 20 years now. Still, the threat is more alive today than it was back then. Okay. Now, in 2008, George Bush was our president, W. Bush. And we had 9/11, we had all that disaster unfold, and we had the war on terrorism that was going on. ISIS is about to come out of about to be born out of Al-Qaeda. We had Obama that was about ready to become president. And in this court case in 2008, they successfully they produced convictions on all counts, 108 defendants, including material support for designated terrorist organization, money laundering, and tax fraud. 5 of the Holy Land Fund trial. Let me say this. The Holy Land, they made it sound like, they were raising money for Hamas. They were raising money here in the United States, sending it to their sister organization. The Muslim Brotherhood birthed Hamas. Hamas came out of the Muslim Brotherhood out of Egypt. And so they were raising funds for Hamas here in the United States. Well, 5 of the leaders received sentences ranging upwards to 65 years in prison for providing support for terrorism. The convictions were upheld on appeal. Of course, the defendants tried to appeal, but their convictions were upheld, and is still widely described as the largest terrorism financing prosecution in U.S. history. The trial is significant beyond the verdict itself because of what came out of it. There were FBI wiretaps, including a meeting that was done in Philadelphia in 1993. We'll talk about that at a later date. Internal Muslim Brotherhood memos and organizational records came to light. So, let me mention who testified. Laura Burns. She's the person who She was with the FBI for 22 years. She worked the Holy Land Foundation case, and then you had Ariel Klepak, who is a litigator today. Her job is she works as a let me see, I missed that part. I don't have it in my notes, but I know she works for a Jewish fellow study. Then there was Kyle Scheidler, policy analyst. So you had three experts, one talking about the past, one talking about what's going on in the current area, the current litigations, and then also an analyst, a person from the government that deals with security. And so in that, they gave a very clear outlay of what was, what's going on here in America and why we should be concerned about a terrorist organization that is operating through proxies here in the United States. Now, imagine, if you would, you're sitting in the jury. Let's say it's 2008. Go with me. Imagine this. And you're sitting you're one of the jurors, and you're awakened. One of the first things that's going to be brought to you is this. They're going to read to you from a memorandum that was written by the Muslim Brotherhood. And in it, it says this: the Ikhwan, meaning the brothers, must understand that their work in America is a kind of grand jihad in eliminating and destroying Western civilization from within and sabotaging its miserable house by their hands and the hands of the believers. And so you're hearing this, that there is a group here of Muslims, and their mission is to perform a grand jihad in our country and to destroy our civilization from within and sabotage our nation. I think that would capture your attention. At least I hope so. And then you would listen and hear evidence after evidence after evidence that this stuff is backed up by the FBI wiretaps, by caches of documents that the FBI found and laid out as evidence. Now, one of the most cherished piece of evidence was this document that they titled an explanatory memorandum on the general strategic goal of the group in North America. Here's how they found it. Here's what's interesting. The FBI noticed this, what they were following and tailing a Muslim teacher that was living in Virginia, not far from the Beltway. His name is Ismail Embrace. He's otherwise known as Abdul Hassan, and he's an operative for the Muslim Brotherhood. Well, finally, the FBI found that there was enough evidence to raid his home. A warrant was made, and the FBI descended on his home. They found in the basement a secret room, and in that secret room were caches of documents and information that was terribly incriminating against the Muslim Brotherhood and its groups. And it was the motherlode of documents and evidence. What they found here in this one document itself is the memorandum. And by the way, if you're interested in getting a copy, you can get it free from my website. If you'll go to my website, fortressoffaith.org, and look for the article, The Muslim Brotherhood Memorandum. And in there, you'll find links to the PDF, so you can download the PDF of the whole memorandum yourself. And also, you'll find a link to my analysis of that memorandum, all the bits and pieces that's in this memorandum that you certainly want to pay attention to. Now, the first half of the document is written in Arabic. The second half of the document was translated into English, not by an English person, because the English is pretty bad, but by the Arabs, by themselves, and they translated it into English. And page 14 is where you get what I just read about their goal, their mission, and they spell it out very clearly. We are here to destroy America from within. Our mission is to destroy the Western civilization and sabotage it and perform jihad here. Then the last page lists about 24, 26 different organizations that are complicit, that are part of this effort of treason and destruction of our government and way of life in our country. Some of the major groups: CARE, the Council of American Islamic Relations; ISNA, the Islamic Society of North America. CARE is kind of like they're the lawyers. Their office is, they're the lobbyists. They're engaged politically in our government. They're 2 blocks away from Congress in Washington, D.C. They are heavily funded, and they lobby Congress and American government every day. They've got numerous lobbyists that work for them. They also they're here for the civil rights. If there's a civil rights issue, they will sue you, take you to court, and so on. They're always defending. They're the voice of defense of something terrible that goes on with terrorism. Usually you're going to see them in the news sharing a defense of some kind of smokescreen or lie or whatever. Then you have ISNA, the Islamic Society of North America. They're involved in getting people voted in. If there's a vote that they want the Muslims to vote for, they're the ones who do the rallying. They're the grassroots movement there. Then you have NATE, the North American Islamic Trust. 80% of the mosques in America are owned by NATE. All of this stuff that I'm telling you is part of the information that was well documented in this Holy Land Fund trial. Now, the congressional record of this hearing is part of the official hearing. And so it's not hard to find. It's on YouTube. It's on different places. You can watch all the information. I'll be sharing some of the testimony with you over the next few days. What are we saying? We're saying that the threat of Islam is real. There are people here who are trying to destroy our nation from within. And we here at Fortress of Faith are taking an opposition to that. We want to stand for righteousness and stand for freedom and expose those who would try to destroy us. But we know there's hope, and that hope is only in God. Well, we're going to have to stop here, but I hope you'll join us again tomorrow at the corner of Truth and Courage. God bless you. This is a special message to listeners on Carey Radio. I'm going to be in Northwest Washington, Vancouver, and Victoria between the dates of September 8th through the 15th. Now, you already welcome my voice into your homes. I'm hoping that you'll welcome me and my voice into your home as well, as I want to meet you. Gather some of your friends and family together and let's sit down and fellowship. Let's discuss the issues that are concerning us. You get to hear from me and my views a lot. I'd like to hear from you. Now, time slots are limited, so please call soon so that we can log your interest and hopefully we can get you into the schedule. The number to call is 800-616-0082 or email me, tom@fortressoffaith.org. Again, the number is 800-616-0082 or email me, tom@fortressoffaith.org.